Hey, everybody. This is Dominic D'Angelo of WrestleZone.com. And this is what, Marcus? What?
Two Dynamite dudes with attitudes.
Dynamite dudes with attitude. You got to get
right.
a little more pizzazz into it, Marcus.
And guys, we are bringing the heat as far as analysis of AEW Dynamite week after week. Go ahead and check out some of our backlog episodes. They're all incredible.
They're all amazing. And we always have a cat run-in, again, with Luna.
That's right. An early run-in right at the top of the match.
Right, yeah. Right when we're about to duke it out on a monumental episode. Well, recapping a monumental episode. The AEW Anniversary at Daly's Place. 1 year since it debuted on TNT. It doesn't feel like a year, has it, Marcus?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This year flew by in a real hurry. I remember it was only, what week was it that you and I went to that show in Pittsburgh? It was probably like the fourth or fifth week that AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, it wasn't that far off into the whole run of it.
Right. But, so, to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but here we find ourselves.
But it seems unfathomable at this point in time to do such a thing.
It does.
Yeah. Well, we'll get your Marcus's Meltzer rating later on, but immediately I wanted to get your take. Did the AEW Anniversary Show itself, did it deliver? Did it feel like a big show?
So no, not at first. But by the end, I think the direction that they moved in, and the storytelling that they did in the end, was like kind of a major payoff. So it helped to make up for some of the very weird deficits that we saw early on.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a perfect segue already, because what I immediately wanted to talk about was the main event and the happenings around it. So we had Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer, a no DQ match. It was later turned into in late in the evening, and Moxley ends up winning after reversing a blackout into a backslide pin, or a crucifix pin, excuse me, on the Archer. So, Marcus, what did you think of that finish, and what did you think of the match itself?
Finish, I thought was good. I thought it was smartly done. I thought it was interesting that he came out and hit a paradigm shift instantly, like right out of the gate. And I was like, oh my God, is this a squash? Because I was gonna just throw up on my TV if that were the case. But so thankfully that wasn't how it played out. This is kind of the drum that I seem to beat week after week. But it's very weird to me that you've got like a guy like Lance Archer, main event talent, Jon Moxley, main event talent, these two guys, and it's just like, hey, let's build this angle for weeks on end, and then let's just free TV, just like get rid of it and move on to the next angle. It's like, if you're gonna get rid of an angle that you've built for weeks, get rid of it on pay-per-view and build on the pay-per-view. So then that way on Monday, when you do the old school Tony Schiavone with talking over the stills from the night before on the pay-per-view, you can say like, and then the Mad King came out and exacted his revenge on Dean Ambrose. So it's like the idea being like, hey, anything can happen during these pay-per-views. Like I need to start buying these. Like that's sort of the idea, the formula. But I don't know. I guess Tony Khan's got a different formula, and hey, whatever. If it works, then it works. I don't know what their pay-per-view buys are like, but hey, who knows? Maybe they're incredible. But no, I digressed. Great match. Well done for but these guys. I don't know if either of them is considered like a wonderful technical worker or anything like that, but I thought they told a good story. And I could do with a few less false finishes, but by and large, I thought they did a really nice job.
For the false finishes, how they were handled, I thought they were handled awesome, because it really protected Lance Archer, like, in a lot of ways, because like he kicked out of everything, and he got out of like the bulldog choke, he got out of everything. Like they still got him over. And I thought that was really important to do throughout like this whole run, because it's like Lance lost to Cody, and like now he goes up against Moxley in a world title match, and me, last week I was like, he should win it, and they should run with it and like make him the dominant. He'll have him face have the baby faces kind of chase him and chase the title. That didn't happen, obviously, But I thought how they ended it off was really well done. I want to know what's next for him, though, and what's next for him and Jake Roberts. Because where do you go with that?
Well, and that's kind of the issue with booking him in the main event against main event talent right away, is that he's lost all of his high profile matches. So like that's you've kind of heard him in that respect, where it's just like, okay, so this guy is like this big monster, but when it comes to like wrestling anybody who's an established talent, he just loses. Is that his thing now? So I don't know. I hope they're not going to do a breakup between he and Jake. I think that would be a huge waste.
Yeah.
But like the way that you're kind of supposed to do it is like you look at Earthquake, for example, in WWF. Like he went through all kinds of people. Like he established himself as like a real bad dude. Like he was beating established talent, mid-card talent at times, but established talent. And then works his way up to the main event against Hogan, or Warrior or whoever. Jake the Snake, I think he stomped on his snake or something.
Yeah, like, he sat on it, didn't he?
Yes, that's it. So like established himself first and then gets that push. Whereas I feel like Lance Archer is getting pushed to the main event, and then it's just like he's just losing. So I don't know. I'm not sure where he goes from here. I like him. I think he's got a ton of potential. So I don't know. I hope they find a way to unlock it.
Yeah, me too, man. It's like, because you think too, what's next for Brodie Lee? What's next for these guys that end up on the losing end? And it's cool, and I think it's fresh to not have these like weird finishes or hokey finishes, or like something that you're used to seeing, like a weird finish in WWE that happens on the regular, where you have a clear-cut winner and a clear-cut loser most of the times with AEW in a match. Yeah. Like something happens, you get the agony of defeat, or you get the thrill of victory, but there's also comes that aspect of it where, okay, what goes next for this one person? How do you build this person back up and everything like that? And I think again, it kind of plays to some short week-to-week handling of things, and where AEW needs to tighten up and tell these stories, get these points across, and further that build to these guys more so than what you've been doing.
And I do have to say, what you just said and what you just described is what I liked about the end of the episode, is that they've spent a little airtime telling a couple stories here, right? So last week, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, they had established that Eddie Kingston previously had a relationship with Jon Moxley in the Indies, and that Kingston kind of looked down on him for going to the land of the entertainers, as he calls it, WWE, and not taking him with him was sort of what he said this week. So they established that, and then they also established that Eddie Kingston feels that he shouldn't have lost that match against Moxley because he never tapped out or said, "I quit." Yeah. So again, great storytelling. They've been telling this stuff now, and they've been like establishing it online. They're establishing it everywhere that Eddie Kingston feels this way, and then so that's what made the finale even more impactful, especially because now the Mad King came out and hit him with the back fist, but then also choked him out because he himself had been choked out. Like this is kind of like some storytelling 101 stuff, and I think that they really nailed it. And I'm very invested in that storyline now. Next week, I'm excited to see how that plays out. What's Jon Moxley going to do or say? What's Eddie Kingston going to do to continue to instigate him? So like that's kind of it sort of saved the episode for me because there's a lot of crap in there. But there were great moments in the episode too. I'm not going to trash it, but. It was a bit of a letdown for an anniversary episode, but this saved it.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really intriguing story that they have put together for that one for sure. And anytime you get Eddie Kingston, even him on commentary, like during that match where he was something happened and he just started laughing. Like I thought that was. I can't remember what it was. It was really, really good, though. It was a good moment.
And getting healthy with Tony Schiavone and JR and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really well done. And, yeah, him going further with Moxley and building to that story, I think they can do some pretty cool stuff with it.
No doubt.
It'll be interesting to see how any of his like having the Lucha Brothers at his side and Butcher and Blade. I'm wondering how that's all going to come into play. And I mean, that kind of leads later. I guess we can talk about this part now. Is the whole tag team 4-way thing going on like that they did? What'd you think of all that? And the Young Bucks again, super kicking people, and just kind of it just seemed, I don't know. For me, I wasn't that big of a fan of it, and it's just, I don't know. It's just not clicking. It's not clicking, and what they're doing to it, this moment seemed very forced and very out of nowhere. Because like you have a ranking system, why aren't you going by that ranking system instead of doing a lottery? Number one, and then I don't know. It's just like you're throwing this up in the air. Okay, we've had these guys. Here's these tag teams that are all gonna be a part of it. So it's Butcher and Blade, Private Party, Young Bucks, and then who's the fourth team? Hold on, I can pull it up.
Yeah, I'm not remembering it.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out. Here, let's see.
Probably not entertaining for you to look something up during a podcast.
That's all right. Hey, you know what? This is what we're doing here.
While you're looking it up, let me just say, it's I agree. Why have a ranking system if you're just arbitrarily going to pick names, like literally arbitrarily pick names out of like a bingo ball can or like a lottery ball canister? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I think that's silliness. And again, the Young Bucks coming out and very much establishing themselves as heels. Tony Schiavone, a babyface commentator, doesn't want to be in the ring with them. Again, heels. So now we're supposed to care that these heels, these unlikable guys, are going to wrestle the other unlikable guys. Like let's say, Dominic, that you had two bullies in high school, two guys that relentlessly bullied you, and then one day the two of them got into a fight. Who would you would just root for them to murder each other?
Yeah.
you wouldn't root for that like one person or the other. You'd be like, I hope they knock each other out simultaneously.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Right, exactly. And that's supposed to be how this is going. So it's like, why should we care? Why do we want one team or the other to win? We're not supposed to.
Yeah. And okay, so the other team is Alex Reynolds and John Silver, so Dark Order.
Yes.
So the only babyface team you have in that mix is Private Party. That's it.
And they're about to lose in the first round of the Young Bucks.
Well, it's not a tournament. It's a 4-way tag match.
Oh, I get. Well, they're gonna lose. They're not gonna go through.
Yeah.
Because the Young Bucks already put them over earlier, which they've referenced a few times. So like, it makes zero sense for them to go over. They won't go over. But then again, now we've got a bunch of heel tag teams coming in.
So many heel tag teams. It makes no sense. No sense. So disappointed there. Anytime FTR is on the screen, I'm always engaged personally, just because I love those guys. I love their old school vibe. I love Tully Blanchard with them. So to me, that's engaging. There was like a moment where they started getting beat on and they like cowarded out. Which, again, on brand for them being heels is like acting like cowards and being afraid of people. And talking a ton of crap and then like running away. So it's those guys are true pros, and I think in many respects AEW has done them right by letting them be them, but in other respects they're kind of not doing them any favors by pitting them, a heel tag team, up against another heel tag team in the Young Bucks. So it's just like you're pouring cold water on something that people were really looking forward to with the Young Bucks and FTR. Like, it's something that, like, oh man, what a build or something. And you know what? Even if they kind of reversed fortune or reversed roles in it, where FTR, if you establish even them as the baby faces and Young Bucks as the heels, that's fine, I feel. But like, it's got to be one or the other. It can't just be, okay, both bad guys. Like,
and that's how it's going to go with that. I think that the Young Bucks have made themselves so unlikable at this point that the FTR they're gonna have to work like baby faces in the match. I really think that that's how it's going to have to go.
Yeah, because I mean, aside from them, like, what else could you do with this whole thing besides having them win it? Like, win this 4-way match? Like, nothing really makes sense because I mean, Private Party, they fought. Didn't they fight FTR already? They fought them, right?
Yes.
So
They
yeah.
did.
So it's like, where are you gonna go?
And like Butcher and Blade during that segment, I don't think they said a word, right?
No.
So like we don't care about them. We don't care about the Dark Order guys. So it's like Private Party already went over against the Bucks. So like it's clearly going to be the Bucks and FTR. They're finally going to pull the trigger on it. But you're right. It's like they took something which is like this reminds me of like it's like a layup situation where it's like WrestleMania 8 should have been Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and then at the last minute they changed it to Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice. It's like the other guy is right there. He's a heel. Like this is so easy. How are you screwing this up? So it feels a lot like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really, really strange. Really strange. Well, speaking of the tag, FTR, how'd you feel their tag match with the Best Friends? And it opened the show, obviously. No ring introductions, which is weird, but
yeah, a little strange. They jumped into it like that, but no, man, it was good. I mean, I think the worst worker in that ring is Chuck Taylor, and he's still pretty good. So like all the guys are good workers. I thought they told some pretty cool stories. So yeah, no, it's like as much as I like FTR, I don't get to comment much on their matches because like all their matches are very consistent. They're all like exactly what you're gonna get with an FTR tag team match, and it's always good. They're gonna cut off the ring, right? That's like a huge part.
I thought this match I thought it really stood out more than any of the other tag matches. Is that cutting off the ring and like really like chipping away at the chemistry of the character chemistry of Chuck Taylor and Trent being able to tag with one another. Like they really put that wedged it into the story, and I thought it was a really well done part of the match actually.
And I also love how like I believe it was on Jim Cornette's podcast or Cash Wheeler rather said that I can do like a lot of the flippy stuff. I just don't because I don't have to. And he like busted out like a moonsault or something during this match, which was pretty cool. He did like a really nice rolling DDT. So like he was busting out like some stuff that we would never see Arn Anderson bust out. And it was cool because he uses it sparingly, and it's almost like he's in the moment, like fighting somebody, and he's just like, I can logically use this right now to hurt this person, and he does it. You know, so those guys are next level. If they do wrestle the Young Bucks, they're baby faces in my eyes. But again, they are very consistent in what they do. So like, let's say that when they're wrestling the Young Bucks, they cut off the ring so that Matt can't get to Nick. It's like, are we gonna care as much? Probably not.
I just don't know. Like, this is so weird to me. It's like just a weird overhanging like rain cloud of Dynamite. Is like, what the fuck is this?
it makes zero sense. Absolutely no. Like, there's no way that I could sit down with Tony Khan, a billionaire, and have him convince me that this is the right move. I would acknowledge it was the right move if he wrote me a check, but I still would not be convinced. I'd be like, sure, yeah, you're right. Nailed it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've had all titles were on the line, so I mean, either way I go here. Cody versus Orange Cassidy. 20-minute draw for the TNT title. What'd you think, man?
Orange Cassidy's best match in AEW so far, by a long shot. And I think Orange Cassidy has a lot of cool athleticism at times. Again, we saw him kind of like get pissed off and drop the I'm too cool for this demeanor and actually start trying, which was fun to watch. But I think that more than anything, this speaks to Cody Rhodes and his in-ring ability. The guy really, really knows what he's doing in the ring, and he knows how to tell a story. And so, like, I imagine that he sort of like had a conversation, like, before the match during their conversation. It's like, yeah, you can get your shit in, but like, this is gonna be a match. Like, this isn't gonna be us goofing around. This is gonna be like a match. And they did it. They pulled it off. I don't like the time limit draw. We've seen that twice now with Cody. And by the way, Darby Allin was watching the whole thing. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to play up that story. But like. This is twice now we've seen the time limit draw. I don't like it. I think we need Cody Rhodes just beat Brodie Lee, and he can't beat Orange Cassidy, who Brodie Lee basically destroyed. it doesn't make any sense in that regard. I know it's like football where it's like a great team will lose to like a shit team every once in a while.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was gonna go with that. Yeah,
I get that, but like it's just to me it just Brodie Lee is an absolute savage of a man, and to me for Cody to go to a time limit draw after beating Brodie, I don't think it doesn't do anything for anybody in my opinion. Like have somebody come out and screw Orange Cassidy over, and then Cody takes advantage there. But they made it look like Cody was about to take the L, and then time ran out. So yeah, I don't know, good match.
I think this is more playing towards. I think it's kind of playing towards maybe what Cody said last week. It might not necessarily be the case. Maybe he was playing. Hey, I'm with you guys. I'm with the fans. Maybe he's not going to be that way after bitter. Like he showed more of that cockiness where he's like doing push-ups and that kind of thing, and kind of like going against what Arn's, game plan, so to speak, was. And
let me say, we don't need any more damn heels. And
we don't. We
sure as hell don't need to turn the top baby face in the company.
Yeah, no. But I mean, I think you can have that. I think you're able to. If you turn Cody heel, you can certainly get some. You have Moxley, and you have Hangman kind of in the wings there too. So I mean, I think there's the ability to do that with Cody. I think they could pull it off. I think if they were to do a heel turn or two, like turning Kenny and Cody heel would be fine. But you're right though. There is a lot of heels out there.
if you turn Cody heel, then you need you can't just say well, we've got these other two baby faces. Like, okay, but we're still losing a baby face. So if you're gonna do that, then I think that Kenny Omega will kind of have to take the helm in his place. So I don't know. It's a lot of moving pieces.
The other thing is they're teasing him as a heel now too. So it's like
the whole thing is really bizarre.
I don't know how much of this is like they're going for the gray area or if they're going for like this weird, just not just the odd storytelling aspect. Like, what is it? And I think, obviously, I feel it should be, okay, clear-cut heel, clear-cut babyface. That's simple. Just leave it like that.
That's it. I understand that there's numerous shades of gray, but that's not what people like. When we were watching Rocky movies as kids, it's not like Apollo Creed in the first two movies was ever just acting like a good guy ever.
Yeah.
He down the road he did, but in the first two movies it was I hate this guy. I want to see this guy get knocked the fuck out.
I want to see he's cocky. He's got everything. Rocky's got nothing. He's a nobody. I want to see the underdog pull through here.
Rocky is the formula, by the way, for professional wrestling. That's it. It's easy. You get an underdog baby face. You get overwhelming heels, and the baby face has to fend off the overwhelming heels. It's as simple as that.
Throughout that, you've had dragons to slay with Rocky. You've had Thunderlips. You've had Clubber Lang. You've had the Russian Tommy Gunn. Not that big of a dragon, but nonetheless, he was there.
But he's doing it, and he takes a loss to Clubber Lang. Doesn't hurt Rocky because they told the story of he was down and out and he was hurting, and then an old nemesis comes back and helps him out. How well would that work now?
Yes.
Let's say Cody loses to Lance Archer. What if Brodie Lee, who by the way put out a nice tweet about Cody afterwards, what if he approaches him in the back and he's just I think that you and I can work together. That immediately, that's interesting. Is Cody going to turn heel? Is Brodie Lee going babyface? What's going on right now? There's so many ways. Happening? There's so many very easy ways to tell interesting, compelling stories, and I don't know. I think that Tony Khan writes a lot of the TV, and he's just he has an idea in his head, and he's here's how I get there. He's I want this to happen, and let's just get there. And so he just comes up with something stupid and nonsensical. It's to me, I feel you start at the beginning, you build to an arc, and hit the old peak, hit the Everest of the story. Right.
Yeah. Dude, it's there's some intriguing aspects to it. I love the story that they told, between Cody and Orange Cassidy, and I'm with you on the match too. I think that's Orange's best match with somebody. I don't know though. Like that match with Pac too. You didn't see his match with Pac. That was awesome.
I didn't.
Oh man, that was a great match. Yeah, I might. Yeah, you know what? I'm still gonna go with Pac as that match. But this match in particular, like from that perspective of a Cody match too, I really really liked it, and I thought Orange lived up to the occasion for it too. And yeah, I guess from this angle, yeah, they had Darby in the crowd, and then they said whoever Darby will face the winner of this at Full Gear, for the title.
But nobody won, so they've got to go again.
Won. So 2 weeks from now, they're going to go again. Who do you want to see, Cody versus Darby, or do you want to see Orange versus Darby?
I want to see Cody versus Darby. I really like Cody as the TNT Championship, and again, I wish they would go back to that week after week. He's saying like, I'll take on whoever, and that opens the door for like anybody to come. You could see absolutely anybody week to week. How cool would it be if his buddy DDP came out and tried to challenge for it? Like there's just so many very interesting ways that you could go with that, and Cody's the perfect flag bearer for that. I mean, week after week, I'd be interested. Like, don't even say like, and on Wednesday he's wrestling this guy. Like on Monday, it's just like, nope, mystery opponent every single week. Who's it gonna be? Cody can't prepare for it. What's gonna happen? So yeah, I love that idea. I wish they would keep doing that, but no, I want to see Cody go over. I'm starting to like Orange Cassidy more following that match. But like, I think that logically what you should be building toward, and you just brought the guy up, is it should be Cody is beating everybody handily who challenges him for the TNT Championship, and until Pac returns, and then Pac wants it after being gone for so long. He's hungry and he's been watching. He sees the TNT Championship and he wants it for himself. Like there's a good story. There's an interesting story. So I don't know. That's what I'd like to see. What else we got, Dom?
Yeah, well, let me say though, we ran a poll on WrestleZone. I put up the poll. Who did they want to see? Darby versus Cody or Orange versus Darby? A lot of people were saying Orange versus Darby, and yeah, having that. So that won out. I think it was like a 10% margin that they had it in, and I think I would I don't know. Like, for me, it just kind of depends on how they tell the story. I think Orange would benefit from winning the title, and that I think you're establishing another guy further by having the title around him. And then you just have him go up against Darby. But like, the way they handle it again with these clear-cut wins and clear-cut losses, I think is very intriguing, but it's also like, it throws another interesting wrench in the works of storytelling that we're used to, maybe from like the older time, like, older wrestling and stuff like that. You would have more of those. You wouldn't have these like suspect finishes all the time, but you kind of would too. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a really delicate balance, but it really just, again, it's with the storytelling. I've said storytelling like 25 times already on this fucking show.
Well, it's because that's what's missing from the program. So I understand completely.
Yeah. So next up, the women's match, Big Swole versus Kirito. What'd you think of that?
I stand by what I've been saying all along about Big Swole. She is incredibly dangerous in the ring. Somebody's going to get badly injured due to her.
Was there something that you made note of that really stood out to you for that?
I can't remember the exact spot. Full disclosure, I just had a child, so I'm lack of sleep. So
I wanted to mention that.
So as I was watching it, it was sort of like she was taking a nap and I was like drifting in and out. But I was still conscious and watched it, and I noted, I was like, Swole is very dangerous as I'm watching this. But what I'm recalling is a spot in the corner that looked like
she slipped or something happened.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, it wasn't necessarily a mistimed spot so much as it was like a lack of coordination spot where they're like, oh, this spot would be cool. Let's go in there and try this spot. And I don't know that she's ready to do it properly yet. And so it was that spot in the corner that stood out specifically, where I'm just like, like somebody's gonna get badly injured in the ring with her. It's not like this happens once every 2 months or once every 6 months, which would be even better. Like this is happening week after week every time we see her in the ring, and so like it is an inevitability. Somebody's going to get hurt. So I like Big Swole a lot. I think she's got a great look. I love her kicks. Like when she kicks somebody in the face, it looks vicious. Probably because she's so green. You know, she's probably fucking potatoing everybody every time. But I love her look. I love her style. I do not love her in-ring work, and I don't think she had great chemistry with Shida in the first place.
Yeah, like I thought the match was all right, but it's like yeah, there's definitely like some holes that need to be patched up, and I think Shida's really really good, and I think just working towards her and I think she should have won the match, and so they went in the right direction with that, and you just gotta find some good opponents for her, and
Yep.
I mean I think Britt Baker is going to be that position for one of the next people. And what'd you think of that whole cutscene with her and Tony? I really liked it, but let me get your take on it.
I feel like that all the stuff that they're doing with Tony recently is all for the people who listen to WHW. Just like to pop the people that they know love Tony and like love his silly antics. So like yeah, no, it was very entertaining stuff. Love Tony Schiavone. So it's funny
like,
seeing
them freaking out about him being naked potentially, and then
yes,
then getting the chest wax.
It was hilarious. He does it all you know, like a pro. He doesn't mind being the butt of jokes, which is great. And yeah, it's very very good stuff. Again, that's the kind of stuff that's the humor that belongs in wrestling. We can do that kind of stuff. I don't want to see it in the ring. I want to see it in segments leading up to stuff. So yeah, that was good. Is something that was not quite as good. I hope that you're going to talk about this is the stuff with the video game.
Yes, that's where I was going to go.
Oof.
That was what the blue fucking hell was that?
Like, first of all, he's just like, he has to be at ringside with his like.
Yeah, I was like, okay, why is that even there?
Right.
What do you even have
there? It's not like he's had anything to do with FTR or the other guys this whole time. So it's like, what the fuck is this? And then like, of course they make their way over and it's like, oh, they're gonna piss with his video game thing, and then like it's not that, you know, it's an issue over a girlfriend. It's not because of personal insults. It's like all these things that have like tale as old as time wrestling stuff. It's you broke my video game. Which is absurd. And then Miro, after they like squashed the tag team afterwards, they had like these enhancement talents that came up against. Miro gets on the mic, he's like, "You broke my shit." Which to me is just so ridiculous. And it's wait a minute, I thought it was Kip's stuff. Like, why is Kip so mad? Is it Miro's shit?
What shit is that?
Right, and they're both.
We don't even know what game they were playing. Did they even say? I can't even remember. Like, was it? They called it Jan or something. I can't remember what it was. Some lady's name.
I don't know, but it's like, again, Miro, a savage of a man, just like huge monster, looks like $1 million, and he's like all pissed off about
my fucking video game.
You broke my video game. It just makes zero sense, Dominic.
It's the guy zero sense. Like,
he could be a main event star in this company. Right. And they're just like trashing him.
What did they do? Like, I honestly, I think some of this is coming from the talent. Like, and it's just not being reined in or taken. Like, okay, Miro does have a Twitch, and he's on it all the time, and he comments on, you know, stuff, and you know, he's very active in it, very proactive in it. Kip Sapien also has a Twitch, so they're embracing part of that thing. Again, though, this is not shit I want to see as like a viewer or a fan. Like, I play video games. You play video games. Wrestlers shouldn't be playing. Like, they could play video games, but they don't got to tell me about it.
And like, even like, don't make it part of the storyline. You can talk about it or whatever, but don't make it part of the damn storyline. And that is what it all comes down to, Dom. Is is that they are very active on Twitch and they're making good money on Twitch. So they're like, how do we kick this can down the road? So it really does come down to them, and I think that they're hurting the company, and they're hurting themselves.
They're hurting themselves. That's
Yeah.
what it boils down to. Like, it's Miro. I mean, I said this before. Him being introduced as the best man for Kip, I was like, I'm okay with that. Sure, they could have brought him in and made a really, really big impact, and maybe that's how they should have done it. But I was still okay with how they debuted him. But it's the follow through. The follow through has sucked. It's been awful.
Yep.
And it's not. You can call us maybe like old-minded or old-headed in a lot of ways with that, because the point is to attract that younger fan base that do stream video games, that do all this stuff, like, and that are all into that stuff. Because we know we have nephews and stuff like that, and like it's weird when we talk to them about like Fortnite and stuff like that, and like it's almost like a different mentality with video games than what we even had back as kids, and so appealing to that fan base may say some stuff, but it's not appealing to, like, I don't think the 18 to 49 demographic you're really shooting for. I mean, maybe the ratings in the quarter early hours are saying different, but I don't know, man. It is not vibing with me.
it's not working. It's not working. And like, I would say, fine, Kip Sabian, sure, let's have him be like the video game guy and plug his Twitch and whatnot. But not Miro. He's too damn big. He's too damn expensive, and he's too damn talented to waste the way that they're wasting him.
How would you do it? What would you do to right the ship now? Like, is he damaged goods at this point? Like, I mean, first impressions are everything. I mean, we know Miro from WWE, but now this is how they debuted him in AEW. You're not going to get an AEW debut back. What do you do to renovate Miro?
First step would be to have him come out and do a tag team match with Kip Sabian. Have Miro absolutely dominate throughout the match. At the end, they both like raise their hands in victory. Miro's holding his wrist, and he just turns and clotheslines the shit out of him. Turns heel, and like just make him say he's like sick of goofing around.
Yeah. Fuck video games.
You break my shit. You break my toy. I had G.I. Joe. Yeah. So that's honestly, that's the only way to salvage him. And then like pair him with somebody, bring
Don't pair him with anybody. I just have him fucking annihilate everybody.
Sure.
Like, just plow through people.
Yeah.
You know?
Make him start saying like he wants the AEW championship. He knows that when he was in New York, he should have been the world champion, and now he's gonna go for an even more important world championship, the AEW championship.
Yes.
Like again, pretty simple storytelling.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, talking about Moxley and the AEW championship, one thing I did want to mention about that main event was, God damn it, I wish he would get a fucking belt. He was like hitching up his pants constantly.
Oh, was he? I didn't notice.
The match. It was so annoying. Like he was like trying to sell at one point. They're on the outside and Archer like hit him. He was like stumbling away, and as he like pulls up his pants a little bit, and it's like if somebody was beating the shit out of me, my pants could fall right off my body. I wouldn't get like I'd be trying to fend this big motherfucker off. I wouldn't be like worrying about my pants. So yeah, John Moxley, good main event. Get a goddamn belt.
Get a belt.
Or cinch up your belt more, whatever is going on there. He's got to work on that. But yeah, man, that's so. I guess that's it, right? Anything else?
There's the Jericho segment with MJF.
That's right. I love Jericho and MJF. I thought this was probably the worst of what they did, and then it's like it's a steak dinner. Like, is it a steak dinner match, or is it just are they?
No, they're just having a steak dinner.
Okay.
They kind of played it off like it was. Obviously, they angled it like they were having a match. Like, that's how you talk. If you're like, you want a match? You want a steak dinner? Yeah, let's have a steak dinner.
Maybe that's where I got confused. All right, so it's just going to be a very aggressive steak dinner together.
Yes, aggressive steak dinner. I don't know where they're going with that either, because like again, you have Sammy Guevara being a heel towards Matt Hardy. But he's kind of almost like angled as a face in this whole situation with MJF. and
Yeah.
Inner Circle and that kind of thing. What do you think of
It's to get MJF over more than it is for Sammy Guevara. It's just like he's just being the fodder. I stand by what I said before, Dom. I mean, Jericho's coming out and everybody in the crowd is singing his theme music.
Well, some of that's the talent from ringside.
I agree. Yeah, it's planted, but still, it's a thing, and people still love Chris Jericho. The only way to salvage it now is have him accept MJF into the Inner Circle. Then MJF and everybody else in the Inner Circle just beats the shit out of him. It's the only way.
Now, would that make sense though with how like Ortiz got on the mic and was like, "We don't want him in the Inner Circle," like that kind of thing.
Why not? Why he's just saying that to throw Jericho off the scent. That there's a dissension in the ranks, you know. So and now I don't see why not.
You know what I would do, Mark? Is what I would have them kind of stand by, like maybe Ortiz. Yeah, Ortiz and Santana don't want him in the Inner Circle, but sure enough, like they beat up Jericho, they beat up Ortiz and Santana. Kick them out of the Inner Circle. You have Wardlow and Hager. You can partner them up as a tag team, like a monster tag team or something like that, and then kind of go from there. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I think I'd like to see Jericho as a solo babyface.
Oh yeah, I would too. But like maybe he's got just some partners, like some friends in Santana and Ortiz, you know. But they kind of go on their own route and everything like that.
I don't know. I like Santana and Ortiz's heels. I think the cleaner way to do it is just have Wardlow and MJF join the Inner Circle. That's it.
Okay.
Oh. In my opinion, that's what my eyeballs are craving.
Okay. All right then. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on MJ that segment. Like I thought it was funny about like him wanting to touch his hair and stuff like that, and then Jericho being like, hey, cut the bullshit kind of thing. I like that aspect. Yeah, but like, yeah, it was a fine segment, but it was not. There's nothing like I've seen. I mean, it was good for MJF and Jericho, but I've seen much better from both of them. So, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know, Mark. Anything else is there that sticks out to you throughout the whole process of this anniversary show?
No, that was it, man. I'm a little punchy from baby week here.
Yes. Congratulations, by the way. I'll officially congratulate you on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's it's an exciting time, but yeah, it's it was sort of like watching it while being extremely drunk. So like I remember all of it. But it was, there's like a few patches where it's just like, did I dream that there was a fight over a fucking video game, or did that really happen? I wish.
Now, were you holding the child as you were watching Dynamite?
No, Dominic. I sent her out of the room. She doesn't need to be. As soon as Miro said, "You broke my shit," I was like, I need to get you out of this room right now.
This is enough of this.
Not because he's swearing, because the content is just awful. I don't want to expose my child to that.
None of that.
No.
If she were to say, if her first words were a name of AEW, whose name would you want her to say?
I'd want him to be Brodie Lee. He's my favorite right now.
Okay.
And I want her to get like the crazy Brodie Lee eyes when she says it. Like,
Marcus, her middle name. Her middle name right there.
That's true. Her middle name is Lee. So there we go. I'm gonna message Brodie Lee and tell him it was because of him, which it was not.
Not. All right, Mark, how do they follow you on Twitter?
Well, I got to do my ranking real quick, Dom.
Oh yeah. How dare
you? I'm trying to get my shit in, and you're trying to you're giving me the go home signal early, like Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9. You ever hear that? Brett wanted it to go longer, and Yoko was like, "No, I'm gassed. Plus, I still got to do this."
Yeah, he was. I just read it in his book. I was reading that. I read that. Yeah, WrestleMania 9, and how Yoko was zonked out.
Yeah, he's like, "I still got to do this shit with Hogan, so let's go home."
Yeah, like Brett wanted to get all his stuff in. Like there was still plenty of stuff. Like he wanted to tell the story, and Yoko was like, "Nope."
Nah.
Brett was still ticked about that.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him, and that's what you're doing to me right now, Dom. The ranking for this episode, like I said, really the only stuff that saved it for me. I mean, the Jericho and MJF stuff, it was okay, but to me that was the worst segment that Jericho and MJF have had. It was fine, wasn't terrible. but it just wasn't the best either. FTR always saves the show for me, and with Cody and Orange Cassidy, and then not necessarily the main event, but the finish with Eddie Kingston and John Moxley salvaged it a bit. I'm giving it a 5.6 as an episode. So a bit of a letdown, for the anniversary episode, but I'm still digging the product.
Okay. Do you want to start an MVP? Like, do you want to do an MVP part? Like, who's your MVP?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Okay. This is just you. I'm not going to give mine.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one this week, it would probably have to be Eddie Kingston. He jumps off the screen every time, and now getting to see him in a major angle, with a viable potential to win. Like, I wouldn't bat an eye if he won the AEW championship. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
So it's seeing that possibility on the horizon. It's exciting. So yeah, Eddie Kingston's my MVP this week.
Nice. I also like how your Marcus's Meltzer rating is not really a Meltzer rating at all.
No, because I go out of 10, Dominic. We really get into the mud here. Meltzer out of 5. That's not enough. That's like
Well, that's the thing is he screwed it up by going above the 5 stars. Like, he's done the above 5-star matches now. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I like it. You just keep it in your parameters there.
I'd like to hear what Meltzer had to say about this video game stuff on Dynamite. I'd be interested.
I'll go listen to it. I'll listen to the recap of that show in particular.
He's an AEW apologist in all circumstances, and I like AEW, of course. We do this podcast because I like it. But he's an AEW apologist, so I can imagine him trying to spin it in some way or other. So it'd be interesting to hear that.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I thought maybe I listened to it, but maybe I didn't. A sleepy Dom, working in the morning. Always.
Oh well, you just had a baby. It's understanding.
I have a baby. My baby is my work. That's my baby, Marcus.
Your baby is your cat, Dom.
Huh?
Your baby is your cat.
That too. See, I have a lot of babies then. Work, cat. That's kind of it.
You're depressing me. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. They can find me on Twitter at Marcus P. D'Angelo. I've been trying to do some of my own things on there recently. I'm expanding here and there. So check me out, guys.
Tell me, explain this to me.
Let me pull up a tweet. I will say I just gained a new follower today, Dominic. I believe that she's a cam girl, but still, that's I appreciate that follow. That's nice.
Did she wish you congratulations on having a baby?
She did not. She just said that I could find free sex videos if I clicked on a link, and I was like, "Whoa, all right." But thank you for the follow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that original, Dom.
You know what? On second thought,
I think I'm gonna take that back.
You did voice your opinion on something, didn't you? Was it?
I'm like, I wrote about Cody Rhodes. Check out this tweet, folks. This is my wrestling fandom in a nutshell. Cody gets it, dude. I like silly fun on occasion, just like everybody. But when it comes to wrestling, the flavor I like best is closer to the Dark Knight than it is to Happy Gilmore. I want story, drama, and suspense. That's it.
Oh.
That's all I want. That's all I want out of pro wrestling.
That's a solid tweet, Marcus. Solid tweet.
See that?
Maybe you should retweet that.
I should, and then you should share it with the WrestleZone account.
Okay. Potentially, I'll do that.
I don't know how favorably they're gonna look upon you just trying to get your brother over, but hey, it's fine.
But I'll at least retweet it. I have 900 something followers.
Isn't it tacky to retweet your own shit? Whatever.
No, like, it's something you kind of got to do because you got to, if you have stuff to promote or you have something to say, it'll only be on somebody's timeline for a brief moment. Like, especially if like they have a bunch of stuff, there's potential to not see it. So it's good. I retweet stuff all the time like that I have, So.
All right, fair enough. All right, I got to go, Dom. I heard the baby crying.
Oh, okay. Well, do you need to just leave? I can just close out my stuff and like.
No, let's sign off.
I still got to plug stuff. Do you want? That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. If I end the call right now, is it going to continue to record?
That's a good question. It might not.
All right, I'll hang in. Go ahead, plug your shit.
Okay. So, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Dominic D'Angelo. Follow WrestleZone on Twitter at WrestleZone.com. Go to WrestleZone.com for all your WrestleZone needs. I've done
Wrestling needs, wrestling news needs, not WrestleZone needs. At
okay, yeah, no,
WrestleZone needs.
Your news. You want your news, you get it from us, okay?
You wouldn't go to one of the other sites for your WrestleZone needs.
Yeah, well, you just go to WrestleZone, all right? It's that easy.
No matter how big a hurry I'm in, I always have time to trash you a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Okay, I've interviewed Alicia Toot. I've interviewed Alexander Hammerstone. Coming up, you'll see an interview of Kobe Kirito. We just posted the interview with James Storm, which is awesome. One of my favorite interviews I've done. It's so funny. He's such a funny dude. We talk about so much good shit. Marcus, you saw my little promos I've been doing on there. Kind of explaining what we're talking about here is a little bit of what people can do, what certain wrestlers can do, all that stuff. The show must go on, so to speak. So, I guess that's it, right, Mark? Is there anything else I should be plugging that you're thinking of?
Nope. I think you nailed it, Dom.
All right. Well, Marcus, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Clearly did not get anything from you. It's
absolutely not. So I'm just glad her mother is beautiful.
Yes, there you go. So we got Heather over here on the show. So, all right, gang. We will talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, I really appreciate the listeners that we've been getting. It's pretty flattering to see on the feed and everything like that. So on the old statistics. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely. Yes. Keep checking us out. We'll try to entertain you every week. And, I think that we're good, Dom. Babyface and heel, a little analysis, a little fun. Come on now.
Yeah, you broke my shit.
You break my shit.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye-bye.